Alright, so this is the first time we've been in a kayak or catfish this summer, spring, whatever you want to call it. And first things first, if you want to catfish, regardless if it's called bank, boat, or whatever, you gotta have bait. We're gonna work on that for a little bit. And then we'll catch up with y'all once we get that taken care of. So let's take a minute and talk about kayak catfishing, right? I need to point something out that I think is very important, and that is you cannot just go get some great value sun dolphin, whatever you want to call it, some kind of a cheap kayak, come out here and do this. Not at least rigged up the way that I am. Weight is a big deal in kayak. The long story short of what I'm getting at here is if you're going to do this, you get what you pay for. So Battle Yak 2.0 here is a new canoe unlimited. This is 12 foot, well 12 and a half I think. Very stable kayak and has a very big payload for what it is. It can haul a lot of stuff, including a 265 pound man. Go figure. But so on my new canoe unlimited, we've got a motor guide, XI3 trolling motor, and it's actually the full 55-inch long shaft because it does bounce between the boat and the kayak. I use that the vast majority of the time when I'm trying to make a big run, but like right now where I'm just kind of chilling here, there's no point in using it. The one thing that I will say to anybody who's thinking about getting into this, I know it's expensive. Front the extra money and get the GPS version, because the ability to spot lock and due north and all these other things in a kayak is insanely valuable. Instead, like, I never anchor in a kayak anymore. I just spot lock everywhere. My other tip for you guys, like if you're going to look at this kayak in particular, be forewarned. The new canoe swings around on the back end a lot, and I mean a lot. You're gonna need a rudder. I still haven't installed one. I haven't brought myself to it, but the reality of it is this thing chases its tail all the time, and so it's really hard to maintain straight course, especially like I said, if you're a bigger guy moving around. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Also a pain in the butt if you get your bait rods tangled in your catfish rod. My next big tip for you guys, and yes, you see me without it right now, but I'm going to do my best to put it on. Wear a life jacket. Just being honest with y'all, I went years without wearing one. And it's just because it's not about how they look. For me, it's just harder for me to maneuver around in the yak. But I mean, they will save your life. I guess the only thing I could tell you is if you are going to do this and you're going to look at the life jacket side of things, get a life jacket that you are comfortable with. Because if you're not comfortable in it, you're never going to wear it. I still haven't found the one that I am comfortable in, but I'm sure we'll find it someday. Another rule for you for kayak catfishing, like I said, whenever you're looking at your kayaks, make sure it's something that you are stable in. Now, different people are stable in different things. The hottest thing on the kayak scene right now for catfishermen, and bass fishermen at least, is that Bonafide XTR 130. Beautiful looking kayak and borderline rivals being a John boat. There's also a ball game going on if you can't tell by the background noise. But borderline rivals being a John boat. It's massive, but it's incredibly stable. Before that, new canoe unlimited was right there with it, and I would dare say like something like the Jackson Big Rig or Take Two. Those bigger kayaks have always been known for being more stable. There are some guys who kayak catfish that will actually take their kayak up to the locks and they'll get in the high current and they'll bump for catfish. I am not one of those people, but there are people that do it. So there are options. Right now I'm filming for a video podcast episode on the off chance that I can't catch any bait, because it's not looking good for the home team right now. And I know it doesn't look like it either, but my river's actually moving pretty swift. This river normally doesn't have a whole lot of current in it, normally. But we made the exception for today. I'm also kind of out of practice. Yeah, I think I don't kayak catfish through the winter, so I am severely out of practice remembering how to balance myself where I sit. Plus, I've got a bunch of extra hardware with me this time. We'll get it back down pat though. It just take a little bit of time. Now, on the off chance that I cannot catch bait, I did buy some really junky frozen bait. I don't recommend frozen bait if you can help it, but if you can't help it, you work with what you got. Now we got a dog barking outside that cow. So another tip for you on the kayak catfishing side of things, keep in mind, man, it's literally everybody's different. Everybody's setup's going to be different. Everybody's preferences are different. There are guys who prefer like brands like Hobie, Old Town. I prefer New Canoe, Bonafide. You got to figure out what is best suited for what you want to do. So my kayak, when I got it, the main appealing part for me was the ability to build a rod rack for the back of it. Because there are a lot of times where I would love to have been able to pull boards in a yak, or more importantly, when I anchor up, just having multiple rods just sitting at the back instead of the way I used to. All my rod holders were right here in the front with me. Also, I used to not be able to swivel around. That's another big perk of this thing. The ability to swivel, to rotate, you cannot beat that. Most of the bigger kayaks nowadays come with it, and if they don't come with it, you can always retrofit it. So you can make it to however you want it. That's the beautiful thing about these big pieces of plastic. Alright, so I am not going to spend all day trying to chase bait. Normally, if I'm doing the whole bait thing, I come out for bait one day and then I go fishing the next. We don't have a whole lot of time. So because we don't have a whole lot of time, we're going to go ahead, use a really crappy frozen cut bait that I bought from the damn store. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to find a little bit of structure. I got a feeling blue cat bite, at least my suspended bite, is not the move right now. Current's picking up too. There's a silo up here, which that's what you see all right here. There's a silo up here that I used to anchor fish, and I don't know what I ever did with them. I used to keep two of those magnets that people magnet fish with, and I would anchor up to these silos. The only thing that was a pain was when it came time to get the anchor off. And these silos are like my little rest area. There's one right over here to the left, which is the old dock. This is where they used to dump coal in. Whenever I'm trying to get out of the rain or out of a storm, I will go in there and I'll just beach my boat. It's a whole thing, all the bank, everything's enclosed, so it's really nice for situations like that. Also doubles as a bathroom. That's my biggest complaint when it comes to the GoPros, though, is that when it comes to low light, man, they're awful. So like once it hits dusk, video is over because I don't have any way for you guys to see what's going on. We got a couple trees right here in between these two, though. I think this is the one I'm looking for. So what I'll do is I'll get a little bit ahead of it and I'll try to spot lock in the current. Yeah, so that looks like it has some potential. So we're gonna stop right there. We're gonna spot lock and we're gonna see if spot lock will hold us steady enough for me to try and do this. That's an ideal bait, but like I said, you work with what you got. If everybody's talking about comfy life jackets, so far I think my recommendation is the ones that have the CO2 cartridge in them, just because the simple fact they don't have this stupid back pad. So we got our junk bait. We probably won't catch nothing on, and I spent way too much on. I'm just being honest. And they're very tiny too. So a little chum action here. A little bit of blood in the water. So these guys are small enough to just be baits as themselves, but I'm going to do a couple different options here. So there's a few different ways you can do this. You just cut their tails off. If you want to get really fancy with it, you can make a flapper, which is where you fillet them, but you don't cut it all the way off. Also improves the scent trail a little bit. Or you just put them on their hole. All are fantastic options. I'm only gonna bait up 3 rods just for simplicity's sake, even though I got 4, because I guarantee I'm gonna get one snagged or hung up or something. Like it's a pretty safe bet to say it'll happen to at least one of them. That's just kind of the nature of the beast, if you will. Sit you right there. I said the life jacket makes things difficult. Alright, so under the seat here, stick with the 5s. Like I said, we don't have no plan, no strategy per se, but just like right now, we have drifted down above where we were supposed to be. Now, that wood pile over there, I'd love to get into it, but beggars can't be choosers. Again, we don't have a whole lot of time. That's the biggest thing right now. Time is not on our side. Truth be told, if I'm going to film a kayak catfishing YouTube video, probably need to just spend the whole day out fishing. That would probably make a lot more sense. But like I said before, though, we work with what we got. This is terrible bait, man. I don't like store-bought bait. I don't like frozen bait if I can help it. But sometimes you just can't help it. See if anybody's home. So that's another big thing I'll tell you right now. if you think you'll get into, fishing from a kayak because it's easy, you are going to be sadly disappointed. Because I can promise you, everything in the kayak is way harder, especially if you're doing like what I do and fish on big water, and you're trying to, be safe and do everything by the book. Nothing easy about it. This right here is our flapper. Again, it's really bad bait, y'all. Super soft. Super soft. Super. That wasn't supposed to go right there. Reel that in and try again. Yeah, because I almost guarantee I went over the other one. Sure did. But I got it out, so. Alright, for you, buddy. Dream big for me now. I need to re-spool these rods too, man. I ain't re-spooled them since last year. Alright, so there's two. Invest in rod leashes, boys. We spent a lot of money on this stuff. It'd be a real shame to lose it. Had a buddy of mine, Travis, aka One Legged Fool, another kayak angler, just recently bought brand new Magcat setups. Lost one. Reaching behind his back to try and get it out of the rod holder.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Always spin around, man. Always spin around. Five ounces may be a little bit overkill for what we're doing here today, but why not? We're just kind of messing around. There's a 50-50 chance this becomes a video or this becomes a lost tape. But I guess that's any time you go fishing, That's one thing that I do like the lost tapes, because a lot of other people, a lot of other YouTubers, if you will, when they only post the successful videos, and I get it, nobody wants to watch skunk videos. See, like that, I stepped on that and it's pretty much ruined now. We're gonna hook it on there anyway. Channel cat might nibble it to death. Something might anyway. Plus, there's still a slim chance that we could catch some live bait. It's slim, but it's not zero. 7:55. We'll give this about 10:15. I changed my mind. I don't like this. And there's sometimes, man, where you're fishing a kayak, definitely feels like it's gonna kill you, drive you nuts. The slightest inconveniences can be such a huge deal in a 10-foot piece of plastic. Like that. These rolls weren't exactly meant for casting. You make them work. Like I said, kayak fishing, especially kayak catfishing, can be an absolute blast, but you got to use some common sense when you're doing that. Wear some kind of PFD. It don't got to be this. Whatever you do, please make sure it's comfortable, because if it's not comfortable, you're not going to wear it. Remember, you're using a big piece of plastic to chase fish that weigh half or more than the boat itself. So get really comfortable with the boat. Get really familiar with it. Be comfortable with how it distributes weight. Be comfortable with how it shifts. Like right now, we're swaying back and forth. You can see my trolling motor back there moving us back and forth. It doesn't bother me. The biggest takeaways is I can do the same thing in a 10-foot piece of plastic that some of these bigger boats that talking 50, 60, some $1,000. You're like me and you know you just can't afford something like that, or you can't bring yourself to pay that. Man, give this a shot. But like I said, don't go out and buy some kind of Temu or a Great Value kayak. You get what you pay for, and you're trusting your life to this piece of plastic. So I wouldn't cheap out on it. People get stuff mixed up a lot of times, and they tend to forget that like fishing is supposed to be peaceful and enjoyable. It's a hobby. It's supposed to bring you joy. And I can personally attest, at least for me personally, this is my therapy. And so I go all winter without my therapy. And trust me, towards the end of winter, I start to get a little grumpy. I need this. And if I'm not able to do this, if I'm not able to clear my mind, man, everything suffers for it. You know, my mental state, my productivity, all these things play a role. And it's not even if I catch a fish or not, man. It's just this. I mean, look at this. It's just being out here. This is my therapy. This is my church. This is where I'm most at peace. And when I'm out here, everything else just kind of melts away. So make time for the things that bring you joy. If you're a painter, make time to paint. If you're a hunter, make time to hunt. And if you fish, make time to fish. Just make time for yourself, man. Make time for yourself and make time for what makes you happy. Best advice I could ever give you. We're going to sit here for a little bit longer. We're going to see if something happens. Something could happen. All right, let's just hang out, huh? Let's just hang out and fish. Enjoy this with me.